Sports Talk with Playeragent3. I was talking to my guy Daryl Robinson about some of the best basketball players from Raleigh, and the name Billy Williams came up. So I told Coach Rob, I said I remember that name from back in the day in the Chavis League. I said he was nice. I don't know a lot. I didn't know a lot about him, but I remember the name. My next guest, Mr. Billy Williams. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, talking to me, man.
No problem.
So I read that you were you're from New York, or you were born in New York. What's that story?
I was born in New York.
Okay, so
and we moved back down here when I was young.
Okay, all right. So how long did you stay there before you moved here?
1 or 2, something like that.
Okay.
I did all my schooling down here.
Okay, all right. Okay, so talk about Raleigh, North Carolina, growing up and how basketball impacted you in your early childhood.
Well, growing up in Raleigh back then, you played a multitude of sports. You played, it was like a seasonal thing. When basketball season was around, you played basketball. When football season there, you played football. Baseball season, you played baseball. I played football and basketball up to junior high school.
Okay.
Then when I got to high school, I just went straight with basketball. But before then, I played everything. I played Little League baseball, football, all that.
Okay. Now you play high school basketball at Broughton Broughton High School under the great Coach Ed McClain, rest in peace.
Jennifer.
Talk about those days at Broughton, because from what I was told, you guys had some pretty good teams.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Back then, you only had like 3 high schools in Raleigh. Then I was Broughton, Enlow, and Sanderson, and Broughton was pretty much a pretty large high school. We had guys on the team. I mean, we had guys walking around school that could have played on any team in the city and been good.
Okay.
But they somehow or another, they didn't make the team at Broughton. And, it was just very competitive, because guys play, double, like a smaller school where guys play 2 or 3 sports. At Broughton, it was so large that, you just had guys that played basketball. You had guys that just played football. You might have had 1 or 2 guys that played football and basketball, but mainly most of the guys played basketball, just played basketball. And it was basically the same way at Enlow and Sanderson.
Okay.
So it was pretty competitive back then, but our school was so big that, it was a lot of players at the school.
So when did you know, like when you were in high school, when did you know that, okay, this is my thing right here. I can do this basketball thing?
Oh, I've always knew I could do basketball. Basketball was easy for me. It was something that I really didn't have to put a lot of work into it. I just kind of gravitated that when I was like about 12, 13 years old. When I was in junior high school, I would be outside playing basketball at crack of dawn till it get dark. Back then we didn't have no center to go to. You just played in people's backyard, and people put courts on at the dead end. I stayed at the dead end. We had a court at the dead end, and I would wake folks up every morning. People coming outside like, "Who's that bouncing that basketball at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning?" Oh, I should have known it was Billy.
Okay.
That's how it was. Basketball was my thing, but I played every sport. I played football. I could have kept staying playing football. I played baseball. I was a catcher in baseball. A lot of people want me to play baseball in high school, but I just didn't have time for it. So, it was. I knew that I could play basketball back in 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, when did you start getting those interest letters from college? Were you a freshman, sophomore? When did you start hearing? When did the coach start coming to you and telling you, "Hey, you're gonna have a chance to do this on the college level"?
Probably like the 11th grade. Probably 11th grade. My first year playing varsity. Because back then, you just played varsity like in the 11th and 12th grade, because high school went from 10 to 12, and you had to be really good to play 10 in the 10th grade on the varsity school. Especially at Broughton, it was pretty tough, because you had a lot of, when I was in 10th grade, you had a lot of 12th graders that could play but they didn't make the team.
Yeah.
But I played in 10th grade. I didn't play varsity in 10th grade, but every coach used to come up to me after the game like, why are you not playing varsity? They watched me in the JV game. They say, why is you playing JV, not playing varsity? And I'm just looking at them. I'm like, well, that's the way it is. Coach got me playing JV. But that's how it was. I could have played varsity in 10th grade. I was good enough to play it. I used to do my thing against the varsity team in practice.
Okay.
I used to kill them in practice. And it was just one of the things. I knew that I was the best player at school. Okay. But I just had to wait my turn.
Exactly. Now you went to out of high school. You went to Brevard College, correct?
Yeah, Brevard Junior. College in Florida. Yeah.
Did you have any? What type of schools were recruiting you out of high school?
I had a lot of ACC schools, NC State, Wake Forest, Tennessee, Louisville, a lot of big schools back then. I was being recruited from them, but my grades wouldn't let me go straight out of high school. So I went to junior college for a year to get my grades back up. And what happened was I was supposed to have gone down to junior college for that first year, get my grades up, play ball, and come back to NC State. That was the original agreement I had with Norm Sloan. Okay. And during the whole year I was at junior college, he was telling everybody that I was coming to NC State. So a lot of schools was backing away from me because they figured that they already heard that I was going to NC State, and I was pretty much set to come back home myself, and so after the season, I found out when me and my coach down at junior college, we found out that NC State had changed their mind, but didn't tell us. Wow! Didn't tell us that they had changed their mind. And because I was coming home for a visit, and they were setting up me to come home from a visit, and that's when we found out that North Sloan gave my scholarship to another guy.
Right. So it's interesting because you ended up going to Clemson, right? Yeah. So, and I'm thinking to myself, how did NC State, Duke, in North Carolina, how did those schools miss out on you coming from a Raleigh kid?
Yeah, Raleigh kid, yeah. It's strange. State was really the only school that showed interest. I grew up a Carolina fan. When I was little. We all, just like any other North Carolina kid, I love North Carolina. And then when David Thompson came to State, I switched and started going with State. And but I was always a Dean Smith Carolina fan. Back to the days Charlie Scott played and all that. I love Carolina. And I think right now that if Dean Smith would have came to my door and offered me a scholarship, I probably would have signed with Carolina right there. I would have looked at another school.
So you were a big fan of Carolina
that bad? I was a Carolina fan back then growing up. Yeah. If you'd have came and made me an offer, I wouldn't have looked at another school probably.
Okay. So Clemson University comes into play. How did that whole situation come about from Brevard College to Clemson?
Well, after after Norm Sloan did what he did, me and my coach sat down and he said, well, we're not going, we're gonna have to make a move because State's not gonna take you. So give me a list of 6 schools that you like, that you're interested in. And so I gave him a list of schools. It was Clemson, Wake Forest, Jacksonville. Jacksonville really recruited me the whole year, even though people were saying I was going to State. Jacksonville was still recruiting me. Their coach came down and just brought all our games. He was coming at me real hard, and it was kind of hard to tell him no, because he was doing more than a lot of other schools. I had him on my list. I had Louisville. I had Marquette, because Marquette came down to see me play one time. I had Marquette on there, and then after I made my I took my 2 or 3 visits. I went to Jacksonville. Then I went to Wake Forest, visited them. Then I went my visit on Clemson, And right before I was going to take my visit to Marquette in Louisville, Bill Foster, who was my coach at Clemson, he called me and said that he needed a decision because he had a couple other guys that was interested in coming, you know, and that if I wanted to come to Clemson, he would give me the scholarship. You know, he said I was his first priority, you know, but if I was going, you know, if I wasn't really sure, then, you know, he was going to talk to the other guys, you know. So, and I always wanted to play in ACC. That's why I didn't really look at Jacksonville that hard, because I wanted to play in ACC.
Okay.
And,
all right.
You know, that was my main thing, playing in ACC. And growing up in ACC country, I loved ACC. And back then, ACC was the best conference in the league. I just wanted to play in ACC. So it really came down to Clemson and Wake Forest. And Wake Forest had made an offer to a guy that they had been recruiting, and they was waiting on his decision. So they went on and had him, you know, make his decision. And once he told him that he was gonna come, then that put me out the door. You know, because they was gonna give me the scholarship to Wake Forest, but you know, this guy that they had been recruiting all year, so they stuck with him, and he said he was gonna come, so they went on and gave him a scholarship. So that left the door open for Clemson. I really liked Clemson. I didn't really know much about Clemson because I never really seen them play. I didn't know Coach Foster's style or anything, how he played anything, but I knew they was in the ACC.
Right.
And I just wanted to be in the ACC. And they was the last ACC school that I could get in the league with. And I took my visit to Clemson, beautiful campus. First of all, beautiful campus.
Yeah, it is.
They had good facilities back then in the 70s. They had good facilities in the 70s. They got great facilities now.
Yeah.
The football team has really made an uprise down there.
Exactly.
And the whole campus is still beautiful, everything, but their facilities from what I understand, is the top facilities in the country.
Yeah, it's a beautiful campus.
You know, everything is good. You know, back then you had Little John, which was probably one of the biggest coliseums in the league back then. You know, held like 12, 13,000 every game. People, you know, they were packed in the gym. And I just, you know, I like the solitude of Clemson. It was a college town, which allowed me to really concentrate on my studies and everything, and you know, still, you know, have a little social life and everything. And went down there on a visit, and me and the guys that was on the team, we connected pretty good. All of us connected pretty good. We talked about, you know, they were telling me how the coach played and everything about the school and everything. Then we get an update on, and I just told them that, you know, we really connected. Me and the guys that was doing, we connected real good. And when I went home and talked to my mom and dad, and when it came down to it, and Foster called me and asked me had I made my decision yet, and that's when I told my mom, and I said I think I'm going to Clemson, which was about maybe a 4 or 5 hour drive, you know, so my mom and pop could really get to see me play, and my people could get to see me play. My people up here in Norfolk and Raleigh could get to see me. And plus, you know, we come up here 2 or 3 times every year. You know, we go to Duke, State, Carolina, Wake Forest, so they get to see me a lot of times. You know, and that was a big factor there, and just the facilities, the players, and everything. I like the campus and everything. Which really drew me there to them, you know, because I really didn't know anything about Bill Foster. I didn't know his style. I didn't know how he played anything, but I knew that I could play in the ACC.
Yeah, you just wanted to get to the ACC. So you're at Clemson University, and you were voted one of the top 25 players in the history of Clemson basketball.
Yeah.
Talk about your experience playing at Clemson University and playing in the ACC.
Oh man, it was awesome. It was awesome. You know, you're going up against some of the top teams in the country. You know, you played against Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, NC State, Duke, Wake Forest. You played them regularly. You played them 2 times a year, there and back, and them coming down to Little John. Little John was our refuge. It was very tough for teams coming down and beat us now. You know, we didn't win a lot of games on the road. That's the only regret. You know, we was very competitive on the road, But I think that a lot of the guys on the team, they didn't know how to win on the road. And it kind of reflected on Coach Foster too, because he really didn't win a lot on the road as his time being there. So it was kind of a struggle with them, but when I got down there, we made it more competitive on the road. Mm-hmm. But Little John, it was hard to come in Little John and beat us in Little John all 3 years they were there. But it was a good experience. I really enjoyed it. My first year I was there, Clemson was on that last year of the 3-year probation.
Oh, okay.
Because they had got a 3-year probation with the coach that was previous there, Taste Lott. That's when they had Skip Wise and all them guys, mm-hmm. Raleigh, and they was on 3-year probation. Then my first year there was the last year on that probation, so we couldn't go nowhere after the season anyway. And so back then, they really didn't take but maybe 1 or 2 teams to the NCAA. Mm-hmm. But then my junior year, we made it to the NIT, and I think that if we was playing during this time, during the time now, that team would have went to the NCAA if they was taking that many teams. Mm-hmm. Then my senior year, they kind of updated. They upgrade. They made an upgrade to from 48 to 64 teams. So they took 6 teams out of ACC. That's my senior year. Mm-hmm. And we made the farthest run out of everybody in the league. We came 1 game from the Final Four. And that's the first, and that was Clemson's first time ever going to the NCAA tournament, and we missed 1 game from going to the Final Four.
Wow. Wow. So what about take me back to the first time you stepped on the court at Cameron, and the first time you stepped on the court at Carmichael. It was Carmichael back then at Carolina. Yeah. But take me back to the first time you stepped on those floors. Being a Raleigh guy, right, and being able to play at Duke and being able to play at Carolina. What was that feeling like?
Oh, it was a humbling feeling. It was a humble experience for me. But growing up in this area, seeing Cameron a lot, Carmichael a lot, Brunner's Coliseum a lot, and then being able to play in it. Mm-hmm. I think it was probably a big accomplishment for my family. As more for me, I think they were more proud than I was.
Excited, yeah.
I was just living the dream. Uh-huh. And when I walked into the gym, where basically back then, when I walked into any gym, I felt that gym was mine. Mm-hmm. But walking into Duke, where all the history they had, Carolina, all the history they had, the players they had, and Reynolds Scholarship, the history they had. Oh, it was, man, I was like a starstruck kid. Yeah. I was like a starstruck kid. I was just looking around and everything, and just looking and saying, I made it. Mm-hmm. I made it to
Wow.
I made it to it.
Yeah. So who would you say the best player that you played against in the ACC the entire time you were down at Clemson? Who was the best player that you played against?
Besides myself?
Besides yourself.
It was a lot of great players back then, because I came in during the time when, Albert King out of New York came to Maryland, and he was the number 1 recruit. He was the number 1 recruit in the country when we came.
Wow,
in.
I forgot about that.
You had Gene Banks at Duke, who was probably 1 or 2 in that class too.
Jaminsky, right? He was.
Yeah, Jaminsky was in my class. Michael Kern was in my class. Al Wood from Carolina, he was in the class up under me. You had Jeff Lamp at Virginia, who was a 6'6" guard. Maryland had Ernie, what's his name? Ernie, I can't think his name. That was my boy there. He was like 6'9" playing guard at Maryland. And you had 21 at NC State, who was from Enloe. He was 6'6", 6'7". You had a lot of big guards back then. You had a lot of forwards that teams changed into big guards. I was the smallest big guard in the league. I was only 6'3", 6'4". Mm-hmm. Everybody else was 6'5" and up. So I had to really battle.
Oh, okay.
I had to really battle, but they knew they had to bring their game. They had to bring their game when I stepped on the court. Mm-hmm. They knew they had to bring their game. It won't no joke when they saw me. It won't no joke.
Yeah, I hear that. So your senior season at Clemson, you was averaging roughly 18 points a game, first team All ACC. Mm-hmm. What was what was your thought process in terms of, okay, this is my senior season. Do I want to try to play in the NBA? Do I want to go overseas, or do I want to get a 9 to 5? What was your thought process back then as a senior at Clemson?
It was always basketball. Mm-hmm. It was always basketball. By the time I got to my senior year, I felt that I could play in the NBA by going against a lot of them guys who I went against that made it to the NBA. And I played them just as tough as anybody. So I figured if they made it, I could make it. Given the opportunity and everything. But I think it was probably about the end of my junior year, I felt that I could play in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And I was very confident going into my senior year. I was the leader of the team, so I had to step up my game, to be the leader.
Right.
And that's what I think I did. We went into the season not knowing that I was going to do this or do that, because coaching them came to me and they was telling me that they didn't need me to score 20 points a game. Mm-hmm. They were telling me just do what I did my junior year, and we should be fine, But I had to step up a little bit more because I averaged 14 my junior year. I averaged 14 my junior year of leading score and everything. So I figured my senior year I had to step up, mm-hmm. and really set the tone, which I tried to do every game. I tried to set the tone and be as consistent as I be. That was the main point of my game. If you look back at my whole career, you look at my consistency of being able to, score double figures or 20 points every game. In junior college, I scored over 20 points every game except for mm-hmm. 2 games. At the time when I was at Clemson, I set a record for 20-point games, 20 or more points a game. Yeah. So it was like I try to be as consistent as I can. Without having I didn't have to take a lot of shots. I shot. My percentages were good. I shot over 50% at Clemson my 3 years. Mm-hmm. I'm probably the leader in the percentage of guards at Clemson. Mm-hmm. And because I shot over 52% all 3 of my years there. So shots that I got, I didn't have to force a lot of shots, but I made a good abundance of my shots. Mm-hmm. And that was my main thing. That's what I really worked on throughout my whole ever since I started playing basketball, mm-hmm. was to try to be as consistent and steady as I could always be. Not get 20 points this game, then the next game get 4 points.
Yeah.
Nah.
Right.
That wasn't acceptable to me.
So 1980, man, you were drafted into the second round of the NBA draft to the Houston Rockets. Mm-hmm. Now this is the same draft class with the likes of Joe Barry Carroll, Kevin McHale, Kiki Vandeweghe, Andrew Toney, and Mike Jaminski.
Right.
Just being associated with those guys, man, and being drafted into the NBA. What was that feeling like?
Oh, it was like putting the icing on the cake. It was an exciting time, because it's something that you work at from 12 years old up to 22 years old, something that you work in, put your hard work in every day. All the running, lifting weights, shooting basketball. I stayed in the gym. I've always been a gym rat. All that work you put in, and then it comes to fruition. Mm-hmm. That you get drafted. And drafting in the second round was good. I was hoping I was going to get drafted in the first round. Mm-hmm. Going into the draft, everybody was telling me that that I would probably get drafted anywhere between the middle or the late first round. Mm-hmm. But that draft is a tricky thing. You never know.
Yeah, right.
It changes. So I was drafted in about like the middle of the second round, and it was just like it was just the icing on the cake. Because mm-hmm. all the hard work I put in, and I see that it came through for me.
Okay, so. But you actually you did you play for the Rockets or you didn't play for the Rockets? How did that whole situation?
No, I never played for the Rockets. It was a tricky situation because to this day I'm really not sure, but from what I understand, Houston drafted me, and they already had 4 guards on no-cut contracts, and another guard that was waiting to renew his contract. Mm-hmm. So they was really was trying to draft a small forward. That's what they were drafting, small forwards, because they had 3 second-round draft picks, and I was the 3rd draft pick for them. The 2 guys that went before me were small forwards. So they had room on their roster for small forwards. They didn't have no more room for guards. So it was like they drafted me to bring down this other guy who was waiting for a new contract. That played the year before that with them. They drafted me to make him bring his contract down. If he didn't want to go with their salary, then I probably would have got signed.
Okay.
So I was like a pawn.
Right.
But at the time, I didn't know.
Okay. Yeah.
My agent didn't know. So we had to go with it. So I went overseas. I went over to Germany and played. Mm-hmm. And played over there. I did very well. I was like the leading scorer over in Germany. The team that I played for, they was in last place the year before I got there. We ended up in the middle of like the third or fourth in the conference over there. So I brought that team up and everything. So it was just I was just playing ball. I was just playing ball.
So being the guy that always dreamed of playing in the NBA, and you make it to the ACC, then you get drafted by Houston, and then that situation happened. Did that kind of mess with your psyche any in terms of continuing to play basketball? Did you look at it as a business situation with the Rockets, or did it kind of shatter your hopes and dreams?
I was disappointed at first. When I went out to the California League that summer after they drafted me to play out in the California Summer League, and I was out there for like 2 weeks or so. Then they sent me home, and I didn't hear nothing else back from Houston. Didn't know what was going on. Then they didn't invite me back to camp, so I didn't know what was happening. My agent, he didn't seem to know what was going on, and so I just put my and started getting close to where camp's getting ready to start, and I still didn't get no call from Houston or anything. So a guy called me to come play over in Germany, so I went on to play, because I said, that's money right there, and but my heart was always in the NBA, and but I had to do what I had to do,
right?
Because I didn't know what was gonna go on in the NBA. Camp, like I said, camps is getting ready to start, and I ain't got no phone call about going to a camp or anything. So I didn't know what Houston was gonna do. I didn't know what was happening at the time. I didn't know that they had 4 guards on no-cut contract. Mm-hmm. Nobody ever told me anything about that. I found out through grapevine later on during that year that they had 4 guards on no-cut contracts and another guard waiting to sign his contract. Mm-hmm. And so,
okay, you play basketball in Europe. At what point did you say to yourself, "This is it, man. I gotta get a 9 to 5." Basketball has been good to me, but it's time to do something else. At what point did you make that decision?
Oh, it was a long time. I was like 22 years old. I floated like 2 or 3 years, maybe longer than that. Still trying to get a hookup. Trying to get on somebody's team. Mm-hmm. I came back after playing in Germany. I came back and played the next summer with the Indiana Pacers as a free agent in the summer league out in California. I played with them, and the whole summer I was their leading scorer or second leading scorer. I played every game. I played the guards that they had drafted that year. And they telling me the whole summer that, I was going to help the team out. They just said, they felt that I was going to make the team and help the team out. And then I got another joke at the end of the summer. Coach came back at the end of the summer. He was telling everybody who was going to come back to the camp and everything. And I'm thinking that, I'm going to be at Indiana's camp that fall and everything. And then he came in and said that they won't invite me back to camp.
Okay.
So that was even worse than the year before when Houston didn't tell me anything. My wife was my girlfriend then. She picked me up from the airport when I got back home, and she was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was looking kind of crazy, because I didn't really know, but I was kind of frustrated and everything. And she kept and I'll tell you when we get home, and I broke it down to her what was going on. I've been talking to her all summer, telling her how good I've been playing out there and everything. And I felt that I was going to make the Indiana Pacers squad. And then, bam, right at the end of the summer league, they come to me and say they're not inviting me back to camp. But they kept telling me, don't worry about it, because there was 4 or 5 other teams that had showed interest in me. So, I kind of pepped up with that. I said, well, they don't want me. He's saying there's about 4 or 5 other teams that are interested. Well, maybe that's a shot there for me. So I really, I went back home, got back to the grind, playing ball, doing my thing, working out and everything, just in case somebody give me a call, and then I still had my overseas connection. So, but camp was getting ready to start up again. None of them teams called me. I asked my agent, what's going on? They said, there was 5 other teams interested. And he was like, well, I haven't gotten in contact with anybody got in contact with me about it. I was like, I don't know what's up with that, So by that time, my team from Germany had called me and wanted me to come back and everything. And I kept telling them that, I got to wait for a little while before I come back over there, because there's some teams over here interested in me and everything, So I'm still waiting on calls and everything. And finally, when they called me back, well, no, they didn't call me back, because I think they either changed coaches or they did something and they went another way. They got another player from somewhere and they went another way. So I didn't have that job no more. So I was kind of left stranded, but I still, working out, every day, playing ball every day, just in case something happened.
Right. It sounds like you didn't find the right fit.
Yeah.
Or it just wasn't the right time for you.
Yeah, it's that way. It always seemed that way. That something always came up, and it was sort of like, I'm thinking to myself, am I being blackballed out of the NBA or what? Because every time something happened, something good happened, then something bad happened, and I'm leaving holding the bag, not knowing what's going on. Nobody's telling me anything. My agent's not telling me nothing. I got to hear stuff through the grapevine and stuff. So I really don't know if this is true or that's not true, but it felt like I was being blackballed, because nobody was calling. At one point, they're saying there was 5 teams interested in me, and out of 5 teams, nobody called me.
So do you still follow Clemson basketball today? Do you still attend any games?
Yeah, we was down there weekend for last Saturday when they beat NC State. We was at that game. Yeah, they had every year they have a basketball alumni weekend where a lot of the older players come back. Yeah, and they do that every year. They've been doing that for about the last 10, 15 years. Okay. And I go down. We used to go down for a game like that, something like that. But yeah, we was down there about 2 weeks ago. Okay. And they beat NC State.
I got a few more points I want to touch. What is something that you would tell younger players today about in terms of adversity? If a player is not getting a lot of playing time, if a player is in a situation where they were waived from a team, what type of advice would you give a young player today that's facing some of those obstacles?
Basically, you have to still, work on your craft. I mean, you still, just because somebody don't give you a chance, especially the day and time now, there's so many teams in the NBA now, where there's 30 teams. Back when I played, there won't be like 20-some teams. So it wasn't a lot of teams, and the ABA is just folded. And the NBA league, it used to be the Eastern League, that kind of wasn't in existence anymore. A lot of guys just playing that. Then you had the CBA, which was kind of going down and everything. But now, you got the development league. You got a lot of overseas jobs and more NBA teams where there's a lot more jobs for people. I think main thing is just keep your game up. Mm-hmm. Just keep working at your craft. Don't get discouraged or anything. Just stay focused and just keep working on your game. Because there are a lot more chances now than it was back then.
Right. Who reminds you of yourself in today's game? Is there a particular player that you look at and be like, that was me?
I can't think of nobody right now. Because when I played, a lot of guys said I played like Dennis Johnson.
Okay.
They said I reminded them of Dennis Johnson and everything. I think I took a lot of stuff from his game, because when I was growing up, that's how I developed my game. I would take stuff from one player to another player and put it into my game. My favorite player back then when I was growing up was Earl Monroe. I took my dribbling after him.
Okay.
Walt Frazier, I did my ball handling shooting from him. You had Charlie Scott, who I watched him and studied him and took some stuff from him and everything, So right now, I can't think of anybody that's playing in the league that remind me of me, but I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I got two more things for you, man. Take yourself out of this, right? Mm-hmm. The top 5 players from Raleigh, not including yourself.
Top 5 from Raleigh? Old school and now?
Anybody.
Let me see. I'll have to say Tony Warren. Probably Phil Spence.
Never heard that name come up as a top 5, but okay.
In high school, he was an offensive force, offensive and rebounding force. He went to state, then he had to just become a rebounder. Mm-hmm. But in high school, he was a scorer. He was a pretty good scorer back then. Let me see who else out of Raleigh. You got John Wall. So many players around here I can't think of them. You had Chris Wilcott that played at Enloe. I guess some would say, I guess you could put, what's his name, Shavley Randolph in there.
Okay. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
too many. Yeah, too many to choose from. Yeah. Last thing is free game. This is a part of the show where I want you to just just give some good advice to the listeners. It doesn't have to be about sports, basketball. It could be about life. Just anything that you want to share that you think that could help someone.
A life sharing. I would say follow your dreams. Don't give up on your dreams. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to be, you can do it. Just stay with it. Put the work into it, and just work as hard as you can. You can't take no shortcuts. You just have to, grind it out. Don't be discouraged. Don't let anybody say you can't do it. You just go out there and work hard and just do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Like I said, man, Coach Rob, he was talking about you, and I said I definitely got to have him come on the show.
Oh, man, appreciate that.
So, again, I appreciate it. This is Sports Talk with Player Agent 3, Mr. Billy Williams.